Good morning everyone. In this video I'll be showing you how to build a landing page website for a hotel. So let's see what we'll be doing. This is what we'll be doing. So we'll be adding this background and this navbar over here. I'll be adding this hover effects to this navbar and also to this lemon button. So let's get to work. The first thing we are going to do is to create a folder on our home screen. So right click on new, create folder. I'll be calling it landing page. So copy this. Right here I have these two images. This nighttime image, this is an image for our background, and this clock image over here, this clock icon, we're using it for our logo. So you can use any one of your choice, anyone you have, any image and icon you have, you can use, or you can either use the text. So cut it or copy it. I'll be cutting it and right click and paste it into this folder we created. Right click on this folder. Let's open it with our code editor. Right here I'm using VS Code. You can use any one of your choice. As you can see, these are the two images we copied into this folder. So let's start with creating our HTML file. Click on new file and index.html. Let's also create our CSS file right now. Click on new file, style.css. Go back to this HTML file, hold down shift, then click on 1, then enter. We can modify this title over here. Let's call it landing page. I'll be adding next those. Let's link our CSS file right now. So in between this head tag, just tap out link, then style.css here. So the first thing we are going to do is to create a div tag over here, and I'll call it container. Right inside this container I'll create another tag, a header tag, and right inside this header tag we'll be adding the logo over here, this clock logo. You can use any one of your choice. I told you so earlier. Any image of your choice you can use. So start with img. In between this source, let's add the clock.png, and come over to this place. Let's give this an idea of logo. And cancel this, we don't need this. So the next thing we are going to do right now, let's create a div in between this head tag, and this div will be for the navbar. So we'll call it nav div. Navbar. Open the header, open an a tag. So in between this href, type in the hashtag, and in between this a tag, let's start with home. Copy it. Paste it in 5 places. So modify this. Let's call these services. Bookings. About us. Contacts. So let's paste one more over here. We'll call this one more. The next thing we are going to do right now is to create another div, and we'll call this div main. .main. Okay, not here. In between this main div, we'll be creating another div and call it info. So .info. So in between this info, you remember the text I showed you over there, the choose comfort text. So let's create it. Start with a history tag. In between this choose history tag, let's type in the text. So choose comfort. Add the break tag over here. Then experience luxury. With an exclamation mark. Add another break tag just under here. And open a p tag here. We'll give this p tag a class of text. And in between this p tag, I have an appraisal, just a quick text for a hotel appraisal. You can type in anything you want there, so I will copy this text and paste it in between this p tag. Like I said, you can type in anything you want there really. So the next thing we are going to do after creating this p tag, come under this place, still in between this info div under here. Let's create an a tag, give it a class of btn. In between give this href the hashtag. Then in between this a tag, let's type in learn more. And that is it. We are done with our HTML file. This is all we've been needing for the HTML file. So let's head over to the CSS file and start styling. So the first thing we'll be doing in this CSS file is to set the background for our work. So give this an asterisk, curly brackets, margin, zero, set it to 0, padding, set it to 0, box sizing, border box, font family. I'll be taking sans serif. So come to this HTML file, copy this container. We'll start with styling it and go back to this CSS dots and paste the container we copied. Open the curly brackets. So let's start with position. Give this a position of relative width. Give the width of 100%. Mean height 100 VH. Display flex direction column. Justify content flex start. Background. So we'll be adding this background, this nighttime background. We'll be adding that background now. So choose background, URL, and in between these brackets over here, this parenthesis. So we start with nighttime and we select it. Remember, you can add any image of your choice. And background size, cover, and background position, center. So let's run this on live server and see what we've done so far. Okay, so this is what we are having. I would like to put this side by side so you can see what we're doing. Okay, head over back to the CSS file. Let's start styling the header over here in this HTML file. This header, copy it, go out to this CSS and paste it, open a curly bracket, then we start with position relative. No, position relative, not position anchor. And set the top to 0, set the width to 100%, set the padding to 35px, and 110px, display to flex, justify content, space between, align items, center. So we are done with this. Head over to the HTML file. Let's copy this logo. So we'll start this logo right now. Give it an hashtag and logo. You'll be giving this logo an hashtag because you created an ID for it. If it could have been created a div for it, for instance this container that we created a div for, then we'll start with these dots. But since we created an ID for it, we'll be giving it an hashtag. So open a curly brackets, position relative, text decoration, none, background color. So I have a special background color for this. You can use any one of your choice, but I'll be using this background color. It's RGB. Modify this to 130 if you want to use mine, 179 and 179. And give this a height. Give it a height of, let's give it 140px, and a width of 140px also. And give it a border radius of 60px. Let's make it 50 first. Let's see how that should be. Make it 60. 60 should be better. Yeah, that is better. So the next thing we are going to do right now, we are going to style this. We'll be styling this navbars over here. So copy this navbar, come under here and paste it. Select this A tag by copying this A. Come to your CSS file and just paste it, and open a curly brackets. Give this a text decoration of none, and to emphasize one more time, this is what we're styling right now. These ones, color, give it the color of white, background, let's give it a background of teal. I like this color. Text decoration none. Let's give it font width, border, padding 3px and 18px, border radius 25px. This is better right now, I think. About us, let me see. It should be better. And do this over here. Dot navbar a not double column last child. Open another curly bracket. Margin right 30px. So this aligns these ones better. Let's add that hover effects that I showed you when we demoed it. So come under this place, dot navbar a double column hover, give it a transition. So this transition is the time in which the hover effect takes place, and let's give it a color. I'll be choosing gold. So as you can see, this hover effect is now effective. So the next one we'll be styling is this text over here. This choose comfort, experience, luxury. In between this h3 tag, so copy it, come over to this CSS file, before we do that, let's take care of this main. Before we do that, this main div here, copy it over to the CSS file, paste it here, give it a max width of 650px and a margin of 100px and 100px. So the next one we'll be taking care of is this text over here. This shows comfort, experience, luxury text over here. So copy this info, paste it, then specify the h3 curly brackets. Let's set the font size to 60px. Set the margin bottom, push these ones down, 35px, and set the color. We will be using the same color as this or slightly different. RGB, (130). Nope. Cancel this one. 179 and 179. Yeah, this should make it better. The next one we'll be taking care of is this text over here. We'll create a background for it. So go over to this HTML file, copy this text, come over to the CSS and paste it. Give it a background. We'll be giving it a background with a linear gradient. To top. So RGBN, RGBN. So open a bracket, 0%, 0%, 0%, 0%. Delete the space among them, in between them. then 0.8, and come over to this place and give it 50%. And we'll do the same thing again. RGBA bracket 0, 0, 0, and 0.8. Give it 50% again. So padding, let's set the padding to 20px and 20px. Then border radius 20px. No, let's set the border radius 10px. That should be better. Okay, this background should be visible right now. I guess I'm missing something. Yes. So add a comma here in front of this 50%. I heard that is it. So let's style this text over here. So head over to the CSS file .info and p tag curly brackets. Start with the font weight. The text we're styling the text on this background right now. Start with the font weight, border, and the color. We'll be using the same color we've been using all this while, the same color code. Turn this to 130, 179, and 179. Then letter spacing, px, margin bottom 20px. Okay, there's a little mistake here. Console is blue and this should be visible, yes. So the next one we'll be doing right now, we'll be styling this button over here. So go over to the HTML file, copy this btn class, come over to the CSS and paste it. Let's start with text decoration, none, then color, white, background color, I'll be choosing teal for it, then font size, let's set it to 20px. This should be better. Then font weight, bolder, then padding 10px and 20px, border radius 10px. So this is better. Next one we'll be doing now, we'll be adding the hover effect to this button. This hover effect will add it to this navbar. We'll be adding it to this button. So just come under this place, paste the same button, then double column hover. I'll be choosing the same color that I choose, but before that let's set the transition to 1 second. Then color, I'll be using the same color that I used for the navbar, which is gold. That is it. So we've come to the end of this video. This is our CSS file, this is our HTML file. Let's see what we've done. As you can see, we've made everything perfect. We've added this background, and we've designed this navbar, added the hover effect to each and every one of them, and also to this lemon button. If you like this video, consider giving it a share, a like, and don't forget to subscribe to next dose. Thanks for watching.